Hogwarts Legacy 2 is now officially one of Warner Bros. Games' biggest priorities, and that single line from the company's CFO changes a lot for the future of this series. After the first game became the best-selling title of 2023, Warner Bros. Has basically drawn a big circle around this franchise and said, this is where the money is. That means more budget, more pressure, and a much bigger plan than just a safe sequel. The most important part of this news is timing and focus. Right now, Hogwarts Legacy 2 is in very early development. There are active job listings from Avalanche Software for a large, narrative-driven, single-player RPG, which lines up perfectly with what fans loved in the first game. Warner Bros. Leadership has also been pretty open that they want more franchises that behave like long-term live brands, but they still know Hogwarts Legacy worked because it felt like a single-player fantasy you could disappear into. So the sequel sits in this interesting space. Huge expectations, a bigger spotlight, and a company that really needs this game to win after some recent failures. You can feel how different this is when you compare it to other big launches. Think back to how GTA 5 changed Rockstar. Before that, they already had strong franchises, but GTA 5 went so big that it basically became the backbone of the whole company for a decade. Online mode, updates, re-releases, the works. Hogwarts Legacy did something similar for Warner Bros. Games. They had Batman Arkham, Mortal Kombat, and other strong IPs, but nothing that broke into the mainstream as hard and as fast as Hogwarts Legacy did. On the other side, you have something like The Witcher 3. CD Projekt Red turned a respected RPG series into a global hit by doubling down on story, world building, and player choice. The buzz around Hogwarts Legacy 2 feels closer to that. Fans are not just waiting for more spells and side quests, they're treating this like the next big fantasy RPG milestone, almost the way people talked about The Witcher 3 before it launched. There's also a sharp contrast inside Warner Bros. Itself. Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League was supposed to be a major pillar for them. It had huge characters, a famous studio, and a live service model that probably looked great in boardroom slides. Then it underperformed, and a lot of players bounced off hard. That failure makes Hogwarts Legacy 2 even more important. It's not just another project on the slate, it's the safe, proven world that can pull the numbers they need while other ideas stumble. On the technical side, the first Hogwarts Legacy already pushed a lot out of Unreal Engine 4, especially on current-gen consoles and PC. Big open areas, dense interiors, spell effects, and weather all running together, but you could still feel some limits. Pop in here and there, some stiff animations, and performance dips in heavy areas. With a sequel starting development now, the obvious move is a full jump to Unreal Engine 5. If that happens, you can expect a few big visual and gameplay upgrades. Nanite would allow far more detailed environments without crushing performance. Stone walls, castle interiors, and rocky landscapes around the Scottish Highlands could look far more complex and natural. Lumen would be huge for magic and lighting. Dynamic global illumination means torches, spell impacts, and day-night cycles could transform rooms and hallways in real time, instead of relying on baked lighting tricks. Combat could also benefit from better animation tools and improved physics. Spell collisions, cloth movement on robes, and enemy reactions could feel smoother and more reactive. The first game already had a good rhythm in battles, but some enemy animations repeated a lot, and crowd fights sometimes looked messy. A better engine setup gives the team more room to build layered encounters without the same performance hit. Online systems are another piece people keep talking about. Some early job listings had fans thinking the sequel might go heavy into multiplayer. Phrases like live game or connected features quickly turn into rumors of full co-op Hogwarts. But current listings still lean hard into single-player RPG foundations. The more realistic path is a single-player core with optional online features layered around it rather than a full MMO-style design. Think leaderboards, social hubs, maybe shared events, but still a story you can play alone from start to finish. Fan theories around Hogwarts Legacy 2 are already wild, and a few ideas come up over and over. One of the biggest is the time jump. The first game was set in the 1890s, far before Harry, Voldemort, or even Dumbledore in his prime. Some fans believe the sequel will move closer to the early 1900s, pulling the story a little nearer to the era we know from the books and films, without running into canon conflicts. A slight time shift would allow returning characters to age up, change roles at Hogwarts, and show how earlier choices shaped the wizarding world. Another big theory is about the setting itself. Players keep asking for new wizarding schools. Places like Durmstrand or Beauxbatons come up a lot. The idea is that Hogwarts Legacy 2 could keep Hogwarts as a central hub, but expand travel to other schools through story arcs, exchange programs, or magical tournaments. That would open the door for new cultures, new spell styles, different architecture, and fresh enemy types, while still giving fans their favorite castle. The third major fan split is multiplayer. One side wants pure single-player again, polished and more reactive to choices. The other dreams about teaming up with friends for duels, exploring the castle together, or jumping into Quidditch matches with real players. The truth will probably sit in the middle, a strong solo campaign with some online features that don't take over the whole design. Warner Bros. Wants live elements for revenue reasons, but the studio understands that the heart of the first game was solo fantasy roleplay. All of this leads into the big question: when does this game actually come out? With the project in early development and job postings still open, a near-term release is almost impossible. AAA single-player RPGs usually need 3 to 4 years from early pre-production to launch, sometimes more. The first Hogwarts Legacy launched in 2023. Add a normal cycle and you land somewhere around 2026 or 2027 at the earliest. Now add the rest of the puzzle. Warner Bros. Has a new Harry Potter TV series planned for HBO, targeting around 2026. The company loves lining up big releases to support each other across games, film, and TV. But building a huge open-world RPG right on top of that date is risky if the team needs more time. That's why the most realistic window many industry watchers are pointing to is 2027. It gives Avalanche enough space to upgrade the tech, build larger areas, polish systems, and still ride the wave of renewed Harry Potter interest from the show. A 2027 window also lines up with hardware trends. By then, current-gen consoles will be mature, tools will be better optimized, and more players will have powerful PCs with modern GPUs. That's the sweet spot for pushing Unreal Engine 5 features without leaving a big chunk of the audience behind. It also leaves room for Warner Bros. To support the original Hogwarts Legacy with discounts, bundles, and maybe small updates to keep the brand warm while the sequel cooks. So, the big picture looks like this. Hogwarts Legacy 2 is no longer just a rumor. It is a high-priority project with serious backing inside Warner Bros., born from the massive success of the first game and the sting of recent failures. The sequel is likely moving to newer tech, aiming for richer visuals and smoother combat while holding on to the single-player core that made the original work. Fan theories around time jumps, new schools, and online features are shaping expectations, and a 2027 window fits both the business strategy and the normal pace of AAA RPG development. Ultimately, the success of Hogwarts Legacy 2 won't just define Warner Bros.' financial future, it will set the standard for what a modern, licensed RPG can achieve. If Avalanche Software can deliver on the promise of Unreal Engine 5 while fixing the repetitiveness of the first game, we could be looking at a title that rivals The Elder Scrolls 6 for the RPG of the generation. The wait might be long, but for millions of wizards and witches ready to return to Hogwarts, it's the only letter worth waiting for. What feature is at the top of your wish list for the sequel? Do you want Quidditch, a deeper morality system, or a trip to London? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates as this story develops.